So today we'll be getting into some stories with Becky Lynch, Randy Orton, Sasha Banks, and more. For today's question of the day, what return are you more excited for in the women's division, Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch? Let's get into everything going on with Nikki Ash and Becky Lynch. As everyone knows by now, Nikki Ash, formerly known as Nikki Cross, won her first women's title in WWE this week. Nikki is a former two-time WWE Tag Team Champion with Alexa Bliss, but never held a singles title until her successful cash-in on Raw. Charlotte Flair is a huge name, but she was sort of used like a transitional champion here, sort of like what we saw earlier in the year with The Miz. WWE didn't have Lashley straight up pin Drew McIntyre, so they had Miz very cheaply cash in his Money in the Bank and had Lashley defeat The Miz. Same sort of thing here. They didn't have Nikki cash in on Rhea, but they had her cash in on the big heel, Charlotte Flair, to make it even more of a special moment that the fans could really get behind. But the new champion, Nikki Ash, already finds herself in the middle of two contenders. Rhea Ripley didn't get a fair opportunity with her rematch for the title, and now Charlotte Flair is going to be extremely furious and wants a rematch as well. So, Nikki Ash will have to deal with both Rhea and Charlotte. But Nikki was recently interviewed for the Sunday Post and talked about what it took to make it here to this point of being the women's champion, and even talked about accepting a challenge from Becky Lynch. She had this to say: "I'm so proud. I've been wearing it around the house, having coffee with it. It's been underneath my pillow. When we're traveling, it can let off as many metal detectors as it wants. It hasn't sunk in yet. It's a dream, and it feels like I don't want anyone to wake me up. I was just staring at it when I got back to my hotel room, thinking of all the memories, all the people that helped, encouraged, and inspired me on the journey. I feel like I'm fighting for Scotland. I'm competing for all of our fans, and I feel ready to go. Let's fasten the seatbelt even more. I'm so excited going forward and taking on any challenges, and that feels so good to say." Nikki also called former WWE champions from the UK, like Becky Lynch and Drew McIntyre, a huge inspiration for her. She even talked about she would be ready for Becky's return and challenge. She had this to say: "I'm ready for the challenge from Becky, and I truly hope it does happen. Becky and Drew have been amazing role models, inspiring me and creating that blueprint. It's shown you can be from Scotland, Ireland, and the UK, and with the right direction, work ethic, and attitude, you can make it. You can become a WWE champion." So obviously a great dream match and a great point there from Nikki Ash. WWE has seen a lot of great UK-born WWE champions in recent years, and they all went on to have historic reigns as champion. It definitely seems like Nikki wants her name right there next to UK greats like Becky and Drew. She obviously teased a match with Becky Lynch during that interview as well. Becky has been teasing her own WWE return a lot in recent weeks, but it seems to be all trolling and she's never really serious about it. And understandably so, because no one wants Becky's return to be spoiled beforehand. So hopefully Becky Lynch does keep the trolling going on just to throw everyone off and returns at a moment that no one really expects. Nikki's dream of facing off against Becky Lynch could come true as soon as this summer. Fans are still sort of split on speculating where Becky Lynch will end up at when she returns. Everyone seems to assume that Smackdown is the safe guess because WWE is back on the road, and they have tendency to keep couples together on the same brand so that they're not apart for so long. Raw and SmackDown are obviously on different days, different cities, so if you have a couple that is split in between both brands, it just becomes problematic because you can barely have any time together. This is why they also have moved Naomi to SmackDown to be with Jimmy. So that's why everyone sort of looks at SmackDown as Becky's confirmed landing spot. But other fans feel that SmackDown would be loaded if that's the case. You'll have Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch, three top stars of the women's division, all on one brand. SmackDown did just lose Bayley, tragically, but do you really use Sasha and Becky's returns both on SmackDown? Maybe Sasha comes to Raw, Becky Lynch goes to SmackDown. Maybe that can work, sort of balance out the star power amongst the brands. But even that doesn't seem so realistic because Sasha still has unfinished business with Bianca Belair on SmackDown. Can't really drop all of that out of nowhere for Raw. So Becky's return is still a big mystery. Does she go back to Raw, find herself in the middle of Nikki, Charlotte, and Rhea to reclaim the title that she never lost? Or does she start fresh over at SmackDown? Honestly, it can go either way, but because of Seth Rollins, SmackDown does seem to have the edge of landing Becky Lynch. But we'll have to see how that plays out and if Becky will ever challenge Nikki Ash. Let's also get into the latest on Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks fans are starting to wonder where she's at. Sasha Banks was previously advertised for the July 16th edition of SmackDown, which was the first show back with fans. Fans speculated that Sasha would return to interfere after Bianca vs. Carmella, but it never happened. Sasha was then all over the advertising for Money in the Bank, so fans thought that maybe she'll take someone out before the match and steal a spot, but no. Then fans moved on to the following week and thought that Sasha would return during the Rolling Loud match between Bianca and Carmella, but that didn't happen either. Having a few matches in front of the Rolling Loud crowd was a great thing to see, amazing visuals and everything else. But about 95% of the Rolling Loud crowd had no idea what was going on in the ring and couldn't care any less about it. When you look at it that way, thank goodness they didn't waste Sasha's return in front of a massive Rolling Loud crowd that didn't care about the WWE product. Even though fans are bummed out about another week with no Sasha, you just gotta be grateful that they didn't waste her return spot there. So, what's going on now? What happened to the July 16th edition of SmackDown and Money in the Bank advertising for Sasha Banks? Well, WWE does always say that the card is subject to change, so they can advertise someone, and if that person is not able to show, there's not much to complain about because nothing on the card is really promised. But for what it's worth, Sasha Banks is being advertised again for the upcoming SmackDown shows and live events over the next few weeks to face off against Bianca Belair. It's expected to be a dark match and serve as one of the bigger matches for the live event house shows. Bianca has been working with Carmella at the recent live events, but it looks like Bianca will shift back to Sasha Banks once she returns. There's also no way Sasha wrestles a dark match after SmackDown without returning on television first. So if Sasha is wrestling this dark match this upcoming Friday, then maybe there's a chance she makes a quick appearance and returns during the show. So when it comes to Sasha Banks' WWE return, it can basically happen any week now. So be on the edge of your seat because Sasha Banks could return at any of these few upcoming SmackDown shows. Another major WWE superstar that has quietly vanished from the face of the earth is Randy Orton. WWE had this interesting tag team going on with Randy Orton and Riddle, but Orton hasn't been seen on Raw since June 21st. So what's going on there? Well, reports claim that Randy Orton has been officially moved to the inactive list on the WWE roster. The good news is that it doesn't seem like he'll be on there for that long. Reports claim that Orton is expected back on Raw before the August 3rd edition of the show. So maybe he returns sooner than August 3rd. Maybe it's on August 3rd, but Orton is another WWE return, so we can also expect to see that here in the coming weeks. But what are your thoughts on all of today's stories? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.